Welcome to Radiate, the authentic style podcast where confidence meets color and beauty begins with authenticity. I'm Kathy McKenzie, and this season we're going beyond the palette, exploring how the colors you wear can awaken the woman you were always meant to be. Because your best look isn't about keeping up, it's about showing up in full color. Welcome back to Radiate, the authentic style podcast produced by Your Best Colors, where we celebrate the confidence that comes from showing up in your true colors. Today's episode is actually one of my favorites because it's not about theory, it's about real women. Women who found themselves again through color. Women who walked into a color session unsure, hesitant, even apologetic, and they walked out radiant. These are the stories that remind me of why I do what I do, and I think they'll remind you what's possible when you start living in your true colors. Every color analysis session has what I call a moment. It's when a woman sees herself in a color that feels like home. And her face, well, it just softens. You can see it. The breath she didn't realize she was holding is released. The sparkle, it returns to her eyes. It's never about makeup or trends or rules. It's that she's seeing herself, not the version she's been trying to be for everyone else. It's that she's seeing herself, not the version she's been trying to be for everyone else. And it's usually followed by something like, I didn't know I could still look like this. That's the power of color alignment. It reconnects you to your aliveness. So I want to tell you some stories today about some real women. First one is, I'll call this story Reclaiming Joy. Let me tell you about Susan. Susan came to me after a tough few years. She'd lost her husband. She retired early and said she'd just let herself go. Can you relate to that? What she really meant was she'd stop seeing herself. We began our color session, and when I placed a warm coral drape near her face, she blinked, smiled, and then said softly, "Oh, that's me. I remember her." It wasn't the coral that changed her. It was the recognition. That moment when your reflection finally feels familiar again. Joyful, hopeful, alive. She later told me she started wearing lipstick again, not because she had to, but because it made her feel good. That's the transformation, rediscovering the simple joy of being yourself. Here's another story. I'll call this one Seeing Beyond Age. Another client of mine, Diane, she said she'd avoided colors for years because she thought, well, bright colors are for younger women. She described her wardrobe as a sea of black and beige. When she began, she looked skeptical, almost embarrassed. But then came the magic. I held up a rich turquoise, and suddenly her skin glowed, her eyes brightened, and she laughed. "I look alive again," she said. Why did I stop wearing color? Diane's story really isn't that rare. So many women tone themselves down over time, not because they want to, but because they've been told to. Color gives them permission to be seen again. Let's have another story. This one I'm going to call The Mother and the Mirror. This time let's talk about Mary. Mary came in with her daughter, who'd booked the session as a gift for Mary. Mary said, "I'm here for fun, but it's really for her." What she did not expect was her own transformation. When we found her perfect palette, soft, elegant, full of gentle blues and muted roses, she teared up. And then she whispered, I haven't felt pretty in years. Her daughter hugged her and said, Mom, you've always been pretty. You just forgot. You know what? There wasn't a dry eye in the room. Because this work, this connection, it goes deeper than fashion. It's generational healing through self-acceptance. These stories matter because they're not really about color. They're about permission. Permission to take up space again. Permission to feel beautiful again. Permission to honor the woman you've become, not the one you used to be or the one the world told you to be. When you find your authentic palette, you're not just discovering flattering shades, you're discovering your reflection of your truth. And that's where real confidence begins. It's time for your weekly assignment. Okay, so this time you're going to write your own color story. So here's your challenge. Find one outfit or even one piece, maybe a scarf, a blouse, a lipstick that makes you feel something. It's got to make you feel like you feel something. And then look in the mirror and ask, what story am I ready to start telling about myself? Then write it down. It might be as simple as one sentence, something like, I'm ready to feel visible again. Or, I want to dress like someone who loves her life. Whatever it is, that's the beginning of your transformational story. And if you'd like, share it with me on Facebook. I love hearing these stories. You might even inspire another woman to see herself differently too. We're here all to help each other. Thank you so much for joining me for this special heart-centered episode of Radiate. I hope you've enjoyed the stories and they've inspired you because every woman's story matters and yours is still being written in color, confidence, and authenticity. If these stories inspired you, I'd love for you to share this episode with a friend who's ready to rediscover her own radiance. And if you're ready to find the colors that tell your story, and you happen to be in the area of New Braunfels, Texas, please visit yourbestcolors.net or come say hi to me on Facebook. Until next time, keep showing up in your true colors and keep shining. Radiate, because confidence is always in style.